Welcome back. I am somewhat raspy because I've been hooting and hollering all weekend long, but welcome to the show. This is You Can with Suzanne, and that would be me. I am Suzanne Suchan, because guess what? If you can too. Welcome back. Pardon me. So first of all, before we get into anything else, I want to let you know that, wow, Exposure Concert 8 was a wonderful success. Thank you if you had any part of it. Hopefully, if you've been following the show, you knew what it was. And if not, I'll quickly let you know. The Exposure Concert is a free 3-day annual event. We just completed year 8, and it is for domestic violence awareness. Now, I got a story for you. I started this business back in 2010, the first business day of the new year, January 4th, 2010. It was under another name, OP Music House, because I didn't quite have my sea legs on yet. And I wasn't real comfortable using the term domestic violence. I was still in denial myself to use that term on me. Over the years and getting a tough skin and all kinds of stuff like that, I reincorporated and changed the name to Love Shouldn't Hurt. So now it's way more clear. Like, what do you think if you see a company called Love Shouldn't Hurt Incorporated? Hopefully you can figure something out, right? Or at least it'll pique your interest. And, or is it pick? I think it's pique. I know how to spell it. All right. And so what it is, we are a 501c3 charitable organization, public charity, and it's for domestic violence awareness and support. So right now I work out of my living room. I have a 3-member board of directors, and I also have some rented office space in Orchard Park. And people can meet with me, and we discuss whatever stage in a relationship that you want to talk about. If you ask, does this sound like it might be trouble? We could talk about that. If you are just coming out of an abusive relationship, you don't know who you are anymore. And that's really my strength, is to help you identify, help you unbury, take off all them layers of self-hatred that happens when somebody is constantly putting you down and telling you all the things that you can't do, and how irrelevant and unimportant and insignificant that you are, and that you can't do anything on your own, and that you can never live without this other person, and all this other garbage. So by the time you finally exit this relationship, your self-esteem has plummeted. And so I will work with you to help you to uncover that, find who you are, and here's the tagline: find yourself, love yourself, be yourself, and be proud. Oh, that's the stuff. That's what it's all about. I've done it. I've walked the walk. I was in a horrible relationship for 22 years. I've been out of it for 9. And I've now created this business, this charity, to raise awareness and help people in whatever stage they're at. Now, here's where things get really good, because last year, so many people came to me that had fallen through the cracks. People were turned away because they had a job. Well, guess what, agency? Everyone is not destitute who needs help. And here's where the issue lies. There's all these agencies that are in place. We're here to help people in their crisis or whatever it is. Okay, yeah, great. They have a hotline. That's great. But then what? Okay, here, call this agency and this agency. And so this person who's already traumatized now has to repeat their story 10 more times to keep getting more referrals and not getting an endpoint. When I finally had 2 seconds to look for help at work, I sent an email went home, got beat up, because that was my life. And the next day at work, I came in and I was just hoping and hoping that somebody responded with something. And you know what I got? An error message that the voicemail box was full. Or I mean, the email box had reached its capacity. And I don't want that. These agencies, they're all competing for grant dollars. They don't work together. They're all fighting over those mighty grant dollars. And here's something else I want to share with you. This is really important. There's legislation that the Senate has passed for 7 years, and it is the nickname is Britney's Law. And what it is, it's calling for a violent offenders registry. And the Senate says, yes, 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 yes. And the Corrections Department says, no, 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 no. And they keep giving all these garbage reasons why not. Well, guess what? There's a registry for sex offenders. There is a registry for animal abusers. How can you not have a registry for violent offenders? Now, Brittany was a 12-year-old girl. Her mom, Helen, got killed by her boyfriend, who just got out of prison for assaulting his infant daughter. He threw her against a wall. So if there was anything to talk about a criminal past, this guy had just said, oh, I got into a barroom brawl over a girl. Oh, all right. If this registry was in effect, her mom or anybody who had any question about this guy's scruples could have just plugged his name in, boom, violent offender, he's bad news, get out. But no, that didn't happen because corrections keep saying, no, it's irrelevant, we don't need it. And so not only did Helen get murdered, so did 12-year-old Brittany. So Brittany's Law is to get this bill turned into a law. And now it's over, didn't pass again. It's been 7 years, next year's gonna be 8. And I can't stand for it anymore. So I have created something new now called the Hidden Treasure Center. And this is going to be a brick and mortar thing. It's going to be transitional housing. I'm not going to tell somebody no because they have a job. It's going to have a thrift store so that people can shop. Because one of the problems, people want to donate stuff. They call me up and they say, I have a bedroom set, I have clothing, I have all this stuff. I have no room. So I would love to I don't want to have to say no. I want to serve the need. And so transitional housing, a thrift store to have donations. We can sell stuff. When somebody needs it, we give them stuff. And then vetted services and resources. We want to be that endpoint. So for all these agencies that are doing whatever they're doing, to me, aren't doing their job. I want to fill those voids. So I don't like politics. Because they're dirty, and there's a lot of corruption in law enforcement, there's corruption everywhere, and it's there. And so when I don't get my way, and I try and I try and I try, I build it. That's what's going on right now. So go to loveshouldn'thurt.org and find out how you can help. I'll tell you how you can help, by sharing my mission, that's what. So we are really stepping it up. Now, by this time next year, when it's Exposure 9 time, I want to be opening doors. That's what. So Exposure Concert was awesome. 44 bands, 3 days, live music was awesome. Thank you to all the bands, all the fans, everybody else was wonderful. That's why I don't have a voice. But I always have a voice. So thank you for being here. Guess what? We have a repeat guest. Mr. Lenny Revell is with us today. And he is with us because he had so much information that we had to squeeze into a teeny little spot that we didn't get to extrapolate on everything that it would take forever to get everything out of him, but we brought him back. Hello again.
Hello, how are you?
I am super mega awesome, fired up as always.
Good to be back.
All right, now these wonderful, wonderful pyramids.
Yes.
I can attest to them, I have them, and I love them. Now I am energy sensitive and I can feel its magic. Mm-hmm. It's a wonderful thing. But let's back up.
Yeah.
Now, really what I want to talk about first is the dangers of cell phones. And I want to tell you why. My son is 13, and he knows everything that I've talked about. You know, they're dangerous, they cause cancer, women put their phones in their bra, they get cancer there, and all this other stuff. Man, you know, I sold him on it for a while. Don't sleep with it next to your head. I sold him on it for a while. Well, he likes to educate himself on YouTube. He's 13, that's what he does. So he's like, Ma, come and watch this video. I told you it was bunk. What? So here's this YouTube video. Oh, well, these scientists say that cell phones are the same waves as light, so they're safe. Please debunk this. Please help us to understand, for those of us who don't understand frequency, why is that nonsense, and what are the dangers of wireless technology in our cell phones?
Oh my God. Well, first of all, in a world full of opinions, I always tell people how to know what's true is results. The only thing that matters are results. If you are confused because, of course, internet has different opinions on the same thing, same with vaccines, same with this, EMF, same with GMOs, same with chemtrails, same with any kind of controversial topic, you're going to have different kinds of people putting their own spin on it. You have pseudoscientists that are paid off by corporations to push a profit agenda because, or just an agenda. And of course, so what they do is Google is connected with a lot of multinational corporations, and they put their links mostly first on the first page. So a lot of the ones that are independent funded research are pushed to the third, fourth, fifth, because most people won't look past the first or second page. They'll see, oh, look, see, it's all bad or it's all good or whatever, and they just believe what's there. It's kind of a form of laziness, but they did a test where they had popcorn kernels on a table, and they had, I think, 3 or 4 cell phones pointing at it, and someone called the telephones, and as it was ringing, the popcorns popped. The radiation actually popped it. So
I didn't know if it was true or not.
It's true. So that's one example of EMF doing damage, and then of course, girls getting cancer, breast cancer, because they're walking around with their cell phones in their bra. And even they try to hush the whole the TSA workers in the airports who walk around those giant body scanners to get on the airplanes. Those put out a huge amount of radiation as well. Those are EMF right there.
Wow.
I mean, why is it that you go to a hospital, or I mean a dentist's office, right, and you want to take a picture of your teeth, they put a huge lead shield on you for a reason. But in there, it's like you're all exposed with no shield.
Oh my gosh.
Nobody thinks about that, but there's a reason, and because just even one flash of that stuff is potentially dangerous to your system. So it's really not true that they're safe, because if they were safe, people wouldn't be getting the problems they're getting by having these things exposed to them. That's the results I was talking about. And then, of course, we have smart meters, which are, if you look on the side of most people's houses, a long time ago, maybe 15, 20 years ago, used to have analog meters, which had basically numbers that the power guy would have to come down and check your meter, and they would do everything by hand. Nowadays, it's all digital, and they can check it from a distance from the electric company itself, so they don't have to send a guy out all the time. The only problem with that is not only does it give back the feedback of how much electricity usage they're using, but it has a way to actually find out what appliances are being used and how much degree. So it's almost
oh my gosh.
It's a form of tracking and spying as well.
Yeah, that's kind of invasive.
It's invasive, and of course, anything invasive or against your best interests are always done without your consent. There's never a poll like our popularity contest. They just install things. They just do whatever they want. They don't ask you.
Wow.
And it's up to you to find out, and just basically, it's like a little kid. You got to stay after them and watch, what are they doing now? What are they doing now? And you got to, so it's a big job, but these things are very dangerous, and TSA workers are coming down with cancer, and they're trying to keep it quiet.
Wow.
Because you got to understand, cell phone companies and companies that put out wireless technology, these are huge money. This is huge money for people. They don't want people to know it's bad, because they want everyone to have a cell phone. They want everyone to be okay being tracked and spied on, and they want everywhere to just being this electromagnetic smog grid going on everywhere. We got cell towers, and that puts out a field that goes in I think 30 or 40 miles in every direction from wherever it's put.
Oh my
gosh. Those things are put all over the place.
Wow.
We're constantly bathed. We're swimming in the sea of EMF. It's like I said in the last time, it's probably the most subtle toxin that's dangerous, that's all over the place. So you can't do something necessarily about cell towers because, what are you going to do, right? But you can do things on your person, on your personal care. There's a supplement out there, and it actually, if you go to freshandalive.com, it's my buddy's website, and under detoxification, it helps with radiation. If you have radiation poisoning on you, it actually helps heal some of the damage of the radiation done.
I wasn't aware of such a thing.
Exactly.
What was that website?
Freshandalive.com.
Freshandalive.
Yep, .com. It's an excellent site. Go on and check it out because they got a lot of great products on there. And then, of course, my pyramids are another thing that can help it. Because what happens is that's putting out an energy field, EMS putting out an energy field, but that has some sort of way of structuring it. So when it comes in contact, it takes whatever chaotic fractaling is coming across and smoothing the signal. Because a lot of the cancer and a lot of the abnormalities are happening because of the chaotic fractaling and the frequency.
Now, fractal, isn't that like what lightning is, right?
Right. And energy travels in that way. However, when the energy is smoothened out in some kind of way through quantum coherence, then it's safer.
Here he goes with these big words again.
I didn't make them up, but when things are smoother, they pass through the body quieter. There's some people trying to debunk orgonite online, but they bring up a radiation EMF meter, and they'll say, oh, look, you can put your hand in front of it and it blocks it. Then you take it away. It's not just the pyramid. It's anything that blocks it. And it's not really the correct argument because orgonite is not supposed to block EMF. Because if it did, your phone wouldn't work next to it. The internet router wouldn't work next to it, right? That's why I said it structures it. It doesn't block it or lower it. It just changes it. So when you change it, it makes it more, so it's not as dangerous to the body, but it doesn't block it. If you wanted to block it, you would have to use something like tinfoil, because a metal shield wrapped many times around your internet router will prevent signal. Or you could just turn it off.
Yeah.
But if you wanted to keep it on, that's one thing that shields it. Another thing that shields it is putting it on airplane mode. Most people don't know that. I mean, that's a quick access, airplane mode on and off, and just turn it on once in a while, check messages, like I said, But yeah, I see everybody walking around with them in their pants, holding them to their phones, and even the Bluetooth.
Oh, yeah.
It goes in your ear, which is even closer to your brain than having it the phone flush against your head, which is more radiation.
Yeah.
And so what I say all the time is keep the phone very far away and put it on speakerphone if you're in private. If you're around people, get the radiation headset. I showed this last time. But what it is it has a metal wire that comes up where it usually splits, and then there's hollow plastic tubes. So it actually reduces the radiation to your brain about 99%.
Wow.
So have that on you, and then put one of the pyramids, or I have also pucks that are basically just muffins shaped versions of that.
They're like the bottoms to the muffin, though, right? Because they're not rounded on top. They're like a hockey puck, aren't they?
They're kind of like
a smoothed off hockey puck.
Yeah, like if you get a muffin pan, if you were to fill it with liquid and I say it dried, that's the shape. It pops out like that. That's where you get those things from. There's also books you can get. There's one called Disconnect by Deborah Davis, and she talks about the dangers of cell phones and EMF radiation.
Wow, yeah. People let their little babies play with them all the time.
Little kids always, hey, they got the laptops up to their face or the iPads.
Right. Oh, my gosh.
This is horrible stuff as far as the pyramids go.
Can I ask you real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
When babies and stuff, they play the games. Now, if they don't have it online, so say they've downloaded a game that's not online and they just play the game, is that safe?
If you turn off the antenna on the actual iPad or the computer, and I would plug like an Ethernet cable in, it cuts off the signal so it doesn't look for a signal.
Okay, good.
So that you can do. But if it's online, if you're using Wi-Fi, then you better believe it's cooking everything in its area. So most people's hands are the first thing it comes in contact with. This part is getting cooked first. But then of course when they're carrying it, this is getting cooked. Their pants, the bra, You know,
Wow.
the women that carry it in their purse have a little bit of advantage because the purse pushes it away a little bit.
Yeah.
But still, it's, you know.
It's still just a few inches more away from your body.
Another example, because I'm a musician, when I have an electric keyboard near it, I was maybe about 15 feet away from this, and I would get a phone call, and my electric piano was on. It would go bzzz, and then the phone would ring. So
Oh my
even
gosh.
from there, it's picking it up.
Wow.
So yeah, it's,
Wow.
and like I said, if it really was safe, you wouldn't hear about all these stories people getting fried and having problems. And I had people that sleep with their phones and they're getting
Yeah.
headaches, especially with the smart meters, which is the power of 100 cell phones.
Is it really?
And they're sleeping on the other side of the wall and they can't sleep. People have internet routers real close. They're having problems sleeping. They're getting headaches. They feel just like, ooh, you know?
Yeah, I've heard about that. Yeah,
Because
people
it
just feel
lowers-
like groggy.
Yeah, because it's like dirty energy. It screws up your biofield, your energy field. It's the opposite. For instance, when you're in a forest, you feel uplifted and
Yeah.
peaceful, and you
Even
feel
just thinking about that
happy.
makes me feel wonderful.
Right, right. So all these things affect it in that way.
Okay. Now you have another book over there before I
Yes.
rudely interrupted you,
That's
but I had an important question.
And this book is called Pyramid Power by Dr. Patrick Flanagan. He was one of the first people to look into pyramid shape energy and shape geometry energy. And he talks about all kinds of cool stuff in here. I recommend if you're interested in learning more about this and how energy works, free energy, in conjunction with shapes, this book is great.
Because then pyramids, I mean, there is something special and magical about the
Yes.
shape of a pyramid.
Yeah, the way this works, and I was gonna go into this last time, is when you have a cone, which is an infinite-sided pyramid, there's no sides because it's round, or just a pyramid like this, the energy starts at the bottom and it circles like an upside-down toilet. It starts to circle, and as it starts to work its way off the shaft, it speeds up and it constricts and becomes more tighter.
Okay.
And when it releases through the capstone, that's where you see in Kirlian photography the double helix vortex, which is the symbol of the shape of our DNA geometry. It actually releases through the top.
That is super cool. There's
Yeah.
a photo right there, too. I love that picture.
That's an actual photograph of an actual pyramid's double helix vortex going up. The vortex is upside down tornado, and then double helix is the DNA geometry.
That's crazy. So, the Great Pyramids, but I'd like to know how they got there, but that's for another day.
Yeah.
So, so do you think that that's what this is about, like the Great Pyramids that are out on the planet? And
Oh yeah. These
like somebody was a really smart cookie back in the day.
well, you know, this specific geometry of a pyramid, this is some people call it a Nubian pyramid or a Russian pyramid, was actually created by a Russian scientist named Alexander Golod, Golod, I believe. And he was doing experiments because he had a budget, $1 million budget after the Cold War left over because they weren't going to fight with the Americans. So he put this in a pyramid technology. He built a 140-foot tall version of this thing, but made out of fiberglass. He found something very interesting. People would go in there with sicknesses, and basically the sickness would go away. He took seeds, vegetable seeds, and he scattered them inside the pyramid, left them there for maybe like a week, come back, gather all the seeds, and planted them, and they grew 100 times more bigger than the other vegetables that weren't in the pyramid.
So this was made out of fiberglass, you said?
Fiberglass, just the shape. in
Oh
and
my
itself
gosh.
did
So
that.
we're not even talking crystal stuff.
We're not even talking crystals.
Wow.
And they also had granite. They had granite put in there, and they let it sit there for a while. They took the granite out, and they made prisons with the granite, put prisoners in it, and the prisoners were actually more calm and docile and nice in comparison with the prisoners in other prisons that were made of regular granite.
Oh my gosh.
So
now
this-
that's proof.
That's
That's results.
because you don't think there's some sort of conspiracy in prisons with prisoners. We're going to pretend and make the pyramid energy look true. You know, we're going to all just behave for 1 week until they do the test. Then we'll go back to being crazy, you know, but it didn't work like that. So there's something to it. Lots of healing things. You put them near plants, like I say, they grow better. I had a friend who, now, of course, I'm not saying this is going to happen every time, but my friend had an old cat with arthritis, and the thing never got up. It was always just laying around and was all messed up. Well, he bought a pyramid for me and put it near it, and he said the same day the cat got up and walked around.
Oh my gosh.
I don't have a cat. I can't test this myself. But this is his testimonial, and he's not getting paid to say this. Another friend of mine had a hurt knee, and he had one of the pucks, and he would massage his knee and keep it on his knee for like a long time, for day after day. His knee actually started feeling better.
Wow.
So, and of course, the one common response feedback I get from pretty much everybody I sell these to is that better sleep. Fuller sleep.
Yep.
Everyone says, wow, I slept so good having these things.
Yeah, including me. Yeah, because, I slept like a queen.
I tell them, put it on a nightstand, put the nightstand near your bed where your head is, and go to bed, and they wake up, they're like, wow. So.
And I have something to add to that, because we only have just a couple minutes left, is the first one that I had gotten from you, I put it on my nightstand, and I am a crystal junkie. I have all different kinds of crystals. I just love them. And I wasn't, so fine, I went to bed and I woke up and I'm looking at my crystal and like, especially my selenite looked like a little bit brighter. And I'm like, am I losing my mind? And like, and all of my crystals seem to be like really charged and really happy and really feeling good. So I definitely, I love these things. Now, because I have to wrap it up, how can people get one of these for themselves?
Okay, so you go to facebook.com/ you can friend me on my personal page, which is Len Revell. It should be on the bottom of the screen there. Facebook.com/Len Revell, or you can type in Facebook.com/Prana Devices, PRANADEVICES, and you can PM me on there. I have a photo page of all the menus of all the different devices I make, and a lot of people are putting in their own testimonials on what they're getting back, and they're all positive. And this is a form of free energy, because it's, you can't charge plugging this thing in. It works off of the energy of the stones, being in a pressurized environment. And of course, there's other kinds of like volcanic rock powders in there, quartz sand, quartz crystal itself, selenite, kyanite, amethyst. They're all just crammed in there.
I'm glad that you squeezed that in, because I should have asked what the heck's in there, what makes it so magical.
Rochelle
so we have the shape that makes it magical, the contents, and that it's made with a lot of love.
Oh yeah, so there's like 3 different technologies working at once.
The power of positive, and that's what this show is all about. So we are out of time. Thank you so much for coming back, and hopefully I know that you've learned so much more, as have I. And so get yourself one of these babies right here. There's lots of different colors, and you could feel the energy. It like makes your hands tingle if you're energy sensitive like I am. And they will charge your crystals too. So that's it. We are out of time. Guess what? I'm going to have Danny Neverth on next week. So make sure you're tuning in. And I am Suzanne Suchan, because if Suchan, you can too. See you next week.